Happening now, the family of a Chautauqua County man that was killed in a shooting last month speaks out, demanding justice. And a political spotlight highlighting Carl Paladino, who before now has declined all media interviews. He explains why, exclusively to us. Plus, comedian Margaret show one-on-one ahead of her opening act in the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival this week.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up. But first, nearly a month ago, an 18-year-old man was shot and killed following an altercation in the area of Park and Reed Streets in the village of Sinclairville. As of now, no arrests have been made. Today, our Alyssa Wright is hearing from the family he left behind. Alyssa?
Justin, the family of Joseph Michiano are speaking out and demanding justice be brought to the person who shot him. So far, the family says that they feel like authorities aren't doing anything to bring any closure to this case.
And we keep getting told by everybody, oh, we're close, we're close, we're close. I know who shot my son. He knows who shot him. And there's several other people that I witnessed saw him do it.
A recount of that fateful night by his mother reveals it all started over an argument with one of Joe's friends after he discovered some of his belongings were missing.
Some of Joe's stuff went missing, and he was mad about it when he came back from his dad's. And yeah, that's what all this argument started over, and he just wanted his stuff back. He jumped out of the truck, was like, confronting him about it, and then that's when he was shot in the back. So then Joe got back in the truck, and he looked at John, and he said, I've been shot.
The family believes that medical personnel were negligent when treating Joe.
They just looked at Narcan at him and no one was listening that he'd been shot.
Nothing's being done about it. And I think that's what hurts the most.
Joe is deeply missed by his family, who are actively searching for answers.
He's gone, and he's not going to come back, and I want them to pay for what they did.
I want everyone to see how much we're hurting. And I want them to use that to just get the person that did this to my brother and give him what he deserves.
His family has organized a GoFundMe page in hopes of offering a monetary reward of $3,000 to motivate people to come forward with information that will lead to an arrest. Sheriff Jim Quattrone tells us that his agency is still investigating, doing interviews, and hope to make an arrest soon. Live in the studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. A village employee using a propane torch to burn weeds in Fredonia is blamed for sparking a fire that damaged a popular pub this week. First responders were called to Heenan's Irish Pub at 39 East Main Street around 3 o'clock on Monday afternoon. When crews arrived on scene, they reported smoke billowing from the building's roof with visible flames on the first floor of that establishment at the corner of Main and Eagle Streets. Captain Randy Boland with the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office tells our newsroom the accidental fire started a short time after a Village of Fredonia employee was using a torch to kill weeds on a nearby sidewalk. The specific reason why and how, Captain Boland says, might never be known. However, he believes that the heat from the torch spread from the weeds' remains to siding of that building. The fire then spread to the bar's interior, causing a significant amount of damage. And a 46-year-old Jamestown man has been sentenced in connection with a trio of residential burglaries in southern Chautauqua County. Last week, Judge David Foley sentenced David Spangler to 5 years in state prison, plus 5 years of parole supervision on his convictions of burglary and attempted burglary charges. In November 2021, police said he broke into a pair of homes in Kyantone. Then in October of that year, Jamestown police arrested David Spangle after a woman allegedly found him inside of her East 5th Street home. He was accused of attempting to steal a chainsaw, silverware, and camera equipment from her property. At the time, police said Spangle jumped out of a window and fled. He was taken into custody by officers a short distance away from the scene of the crime. And citing an unfair press, congressional candidate Carl Paladino is addressing why he has declined media interviews and debates. The candidate for New York's newly redrawn 23rd Congressional District spoke with me exclusively during a campaign stop at a WNY Freedom Seekers meeting in Jamestown on Tuesday night. In recent weeks, fellow frontrunner in the campaign, State Republican Party Chairman Nick Langworthy, has called on Paladino to take part in not only televised debates, but also 7 debates in all 7 counties in the congressional district that represent them. In lieu of speaking with news media, Paladino has spent countless hours touring the region in campaign. The reason, according to Paladino, is the lack of fair and balanced reporting.
Well, because they want to play gotcha. You know, they want to give you that gotcha question. You know, they feel they have to balance in some way, so they'll lie. You know, they've taken a statement I made about Hitler and how Hitler could engage the masses, and they've put that into a whole different context, all right, and said that I love Hitler, you know, in some respect, and I respect Hitler. I have no respect for Hitler. It's just nonsense.
He's referring to comments made in a 2021 radio interview, which was brought to the forefront back in June by the left-leaning watchdog media group Media Matters, a story the candidate insists was taken out of context. In addition to the 2 frontrunners, Jamestown area resident Richard Moon is running a write-in campaign for the seat as part of a special and primary election on Tuesday, August 23rd. The special election will fill the seat of former Congressman Tom Reed, who resigned for a job in the private sector, Republican Joe Simpolenski, the Steuben County Republican chair, and Democrat Max Delapia, a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel from Tioga County, are facing off there. The ultimate winner of the GOP primary in August will then take on Delapia in this fall for a full term in Congress. Well, let's switch gears now and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us with that and a live look from Olean today. And boy, Dakota, it's coming out to be a pretty hot one out there.
Yes, it is. The sun is out there shining for today, but yeah, it's a hot one and the humidity is up as well. We told you about that, how the humidity would be rising. There it is from the Olean sky cam, and the satellite and radar composite not really showing you much in terms of the cloud cover, but we do have some rain back to our west that will stay away for the afternoon hours, but we are going to get some rain in here by the time we go into tonight and then through the day tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be kind of a wet day. So 72 was the high yesterday, started the day at a cool 54, 93 and 41 are the records. Here it is for today, mostly sunny and hot. The humidity rises through the day. Clouds increase later in the day towards the evening hours. Now, if you're up on the highest hills, you'll be around 82. The lower elevations right near the Lake Erie shoreline, close to 90 with that south to southwest wind 5 to 12 miles an hour. Now, as we mentioned, the rain chances increase tomorrow. Then it's going to be kind of a wet pattern. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin?
Alrighty, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a little bit as we continue an exclusive interview with Margaret Cho as she speaks with our Bronson Rasmussen one-on-one ahead of her stand-up comedic performance in Jamestown tomorrow. And later, parents of infants, listen up. A brand of baby bottles have just been recalled due to lead levels. Find out if those bottles are in your cupboard. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be back right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Stay fire safe this summer. Only use grills outdoors, away from siding and deck railings. Clean grills often and remove grease or fat buildup. Make sure your gas grill lid is open before lighting. Have a 3-foot safe zone around grills and campfires. Keep kids and pets clear of the area. Dispose of coals after they cool in a metal can. Never leave grills, fire pits, and patio torches unattended. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
What is going on, my New York friends? My understanding is that you're in school for a little bit longer than most people, but I got some good news for you. Where are you going to be on September 10th? In Jamestown, New York, with me at 7 o'clock at the Reglena Theater, and you can get your tickets at reglena.com, REGLENNA.com. Make sure that you grab those now. It's going to be so much fun. Jamestown, New York, September 10th. Come and have fun with me.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
A 38-year-old man is facing drug charges following a traffic stop in Jamestown on Tuesday. Police pulled over 38-year-old Stephen Glover Sr. in the area of Pine and East 5th Streets around 6 in the morning, where Glover Sr. was accused of driving with a suspended license. Following a search of his vehicle, police allegedly recovered methamphetamine, fentanyl, and digital scales. He was taken to Jamestown City Jail and charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance, criminally using drug paraphernalia, and various traffic violations. Elderwood Administrative Services in Buffalo has agreed to pay $950,000 to resolve allegations regarding false claims submitted to Medicare and Medicaid. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, between August 2013 and December of 2018, Elderwood knowingly submitted false claims for payment to Medicare. The payments allegedly involved physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy services that were medically unnecessary. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the submission of these claims resulted in Elderwood receiving higher than usual payments from Medicaid. The civil lawsuit includes the resolution of claims brought under a whistleblower provision of the False Claims Act. And comedian, actress, musician, and activist Margaret Cho will be performing in the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival this Thursday. Our Bronson Rasmussen spoke to her in an exclusive one-on-one interview ahead of her show.
The 5-time Grammy Award nominee tells us that she's excited to come back to the stage after the craziness the pandemic created.
I think that when you're coming back to live shows, there's a sense of real gratitude that we're able to do it, and that's so incredible. And I know that performers definitely feel it. Audiences definitely feel it. I really enjoy going out to see live performances. So it's a great feeling to finally be back.
Cho specializes her form of comedy to address social issues that may be difficult to talk about normally.
It's really about feminism. It's about looking to speak to gay rights and looking to kind of try to find an answer in what's happening in society today, what's happening in the media today, and just also to enjoy and revel in the absurdity of it.
Also known as a comedic activist, Cho says her performances try to better society through comedy.
I try to be somebody who is like looking towards change in society, but using humor to do it.
In the end, a lot has changed in the past few years, but comedy will always be there.
Comedy world is really big, and it's constantly expanding. It's the one constant, I think, and it's always been like a real catalyst for observation and change in society. And so comedy is a really integral part of like just our world, and more than ever, especially with social media and the way that we're constantly like on a news cycle that is really informing us all of the same thing all the time. And so I think that's where comedy comes in really in handy.
Cho will perform at the Reglena Center of the Arts Thursday night at 7 p.m., a show that she's excited for.
I'm just excited to come and do the festival. It's going to be great.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Bronson, great interview there. Thank you. A popular baby bottle manufacturer has issued an important recall due to high lead levels in some of their products. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the markings of the outside of some of NUC's First Choice glass baby bottles contain lead levels higher than those set by the federal government. About 100 bottles sold in the U.S. are impacted. They were designed for newborns to 6-month-old babies and sold exclusively on Amazon. The bottles have white and gray stars on the outside with the brand name NUC printed in white. You can visit NUC's website for more info about the recall. And in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Governor Tom Wolf said he remains committed to improving the state's education system during the final months in office. Wolf visited with students and faculty Tuesday to speak about how this year's budget increase in education spending will pay off. His administration has invested roughly $3.7 billion over the past 8 years, and he hopes his successor will continue to fight for public schools. Despite the increase, Wolf said a lot still needs to be done to level the playing field for schools around the Commonwealth.
Pennsylvania students are my top priority. People who want to learn are my top priority because those students, those people who want to learn, are the key to our future.
Wolf spoke in detail about his administration, who has developed tools to track and monitor school and student success around the state. He says tracking success and preparedness is crucial to ensure that every dollar counts. When we return, a full look at our weather forecast on this hot and steamy day.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Let's start off with those low temperatures this morning because it was a crisp day out there. 54 is where we started the day. 52 down in Warren, 54 in Randolph, the cool spot, Bradford, Pennsylvania at 47. So hope you enjoyed it because it's gone. We're not going to see low temperatures like that for a while. Now, we had some fog across the inland southern tier this morning. So basically just the reminder graphic, how fog forms. It has to do with the cool air. When the cool air rushes down the hilltops, settles down into the valleys where the air temperature and the dew point equal each other or get close together, that's when you start to get fog. When the air temperature and the dew point get close together, you start to get that fog. And the rain chances up and away for tomorrow and Friday. The rain chances both on Thursday and Friday are going to be scattered, not all day rain. And then Saturday and Sunday for the weekend, we do have a 30 to 35% chance in area for at least a few showers. Neither weekend day is a total washout, but you will be dodging raindrops at times. 75 is a noon hour downtown right now with a southwest wind of 8, the humidity 66%, and the dew point at 63. But we are going to see that dew point rising as we go into the afternoon hours. Here's the reason why. We have a warm front pushing into the region now. High pressure ridge built across the northeast. That's going to be moving out, which is going to allow this warm front to to move through, temperatures and humidity surge, then we're going to see the rain chances increase out behind that front. So here's the newest run of future scan showing you just basically some clouds and sunshine through the afternoon. We will see milky white skies because we are seeing wildfire smoke coming on in from the western wildfires high up in the atmosphere, though. This is right around 10:50 tonight. We'll start to see the clouds thickening up, then ultimately a few rain showers. What in the world?
What is going on? Oh, a present from Andy Goodell to Dakota? Or to you? Oh, to our weatherman. Oh my. What is happening here?
I was very confused on what's happening
What
here.
are those, Dakota?
They're little red petals.
Oh, okay.
I have a secret admirer. Let's.
This is the most bizarre thing
Yeah, I know.
I've
This is
ever
the most
seen in my
bizarre
life.
weather segment
Bronson
I've ever
comes
done.
running in at full
In
speed.
in 5 years, this is the most bizarre weather segment I've ever done. Even more so bizarre than the bee that came up on the News Now cam.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Andy Goodell. Anyway, we are going to see some rain showers coming in through the day tomorrow. They're giving me the hurry up sign. This is because it ate into my time. So forecast rain here. This is going all the way through Friday. We are going to see at least about an inch of rain in some spots. Now the next 7 days, maybe powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So 85 tomorrow, 79 Friday. And it's going to be a warm and partly wet weekend. And temperatures come back down a little bit, Justin, for next week, but still will be humid.
Yeah, certainly. All right.
I have nothing more to say after that.
I've never seen Bronson run that fast, actually.
I saw him coming in here and I'm like, okay. And then he came over to the wall and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then he just started throwing those red leaves at me.
Yeah. I thought we had breaking news or something. You know,
I know.
It's like, no, just the pedals. Well, thank you, Andy. All right, I guess we got to move on here. Let's get a check of some headlines from across our nation. And you might have saw this morning. The man known as the voice of the LA Dodgers has passed away. Legendary announcer Vin Scully was 94 years old. The Dodgers organization described him as an icon, saying he chronicled their glory from Jackie Robinson to Sandy Koufax, Kirk Gibson, and Clayton Kershaw. They did not reveal his cause of death, just that he passed away on Tuesday. And the U.S. Senate has passed legislation that would help veterans exposed to burn pits. On a vote of 86-11, the Senate passed the PACT Act. The bill aims to help give medical benefits to nearly 3 million veterans exposed to toxic burn pits. These burn pits were used commonly as a way to dispose of waste for military units outside the U.S. in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. Veterans and advocates say exposure to these burn pits can cause health issues, even cancer. The bill will head to President Biden's desk, where he's expected to sign it into law. And within the halls of Congress today, lawmakers had some of their focus on a tiny island thousands of miles away across the Pacific Ocean. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi arriving in Taiwan, but the trip sparking some controversy. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp explains.
Some members worry that this trip could raise tensions between the U.S. and China, but Pelosi is surprisingly finding some support in this visit.
So I'm about to use 4 words in a row that I haven't used in this way before, and those 4 words are: Speaker Pelosi was right when she decided to include Taiwan on her visit to Asia.
It's important that the Speaker did go to Taiwan. I don't think the Chinese get to tell members of Congress where they can go.
A handful of Republicans, including Senator Pat Toomey and Congressman Fred Keller, say they support Pelosi's visit, adding that this travel is consistent with the U.S. One China policy. Keller also tells us in a statement, quote, China feels emboldened because of President Biden's weak leadership and is attempting to bully America into submission on a global stage. We need to get back to putting America first, but make no mistake, America will never be intimidated by the CCP's threats, end quote. Here's a bit of background on why the visit is stirring the pot with China. China does not recognize Taiwan's independence, and they claim the small island is a territory of China, and the Chinese leader Xi Jinping has pledged to so-called reunify Taiwan with China by force if necessary. However, The U.S. has backed Taiwan for decades, and Pelosi says her visit is a sign of America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's democracy. She also adds that the congressional visit did not contradict the U.S. policy on Taiwan. Now, as we expected, the Chinese are not happy about the third highest elected U.S. official visiting Taiwan. Here's what the Chinese ambassador told CNN.
Her visit, in whatever form, at whatever time during his tenure, carries high political sensitivities, and it will result in the escalation of the tension across Taiwan Strait and escalation of the tension in the U.S.-China relations.
To further complicate things, some worry that Pelosi's visit could have implications in the Ukraine war. We know that President Biden has talked with the Chinese leader on staying out of the war. Some worry that this trip could push China into aiding Russia. Some U.S. officials worry that this visit could potentially have China justifying any military action in the Taiwan Strait, but President Biden has said before that the U.S. will defend Taiwan and by force if necessary. At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. From overseas to here at home. Next, a look at the event in northern Chautauqua County, bringing first responders and the community together.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at 1ball4tc.com.
Slow down, and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights, vests,
please give us some room.
slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
to help you,
to save you.
despite the danger. This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down, and move over.
move over.
A nationwide effort to bring residents and first responders together returned to northern Chautauqua County once again this year. As our Jackson Hickey reports, National Night Out falls annually on the first Tuesday of August, and this year it returned to the city of Dunkirk for the 29th time.
The National Night Out falls annually on the first Tuesday of August, and this year it returned to the city of Dunkirk for the 29th time. The Community Relations Campaign, which was first held in 1984, has made its way into over 16,000 communities across the country. City officials and residents alike agree that simply coming together in a positive environment goes a long way in building trust with authorities.
We always make friends when we come to programs like this, whether it's next week or 6 months from now. We'll run into somebody and they'll remember you from tonight and not be afraid of you, especially the children.
The opportunity to show what first responders do to help, especially the children, creates not just a more unified community, but a safer one too.
Yeah, it's always good for us to get out and be able to talk to the kids and the community in a setting that's not an emergency, and they can look at our equipment and just interact with us.
With games, face painting, live music, and a movie, kids love the event just as much, if not more, than the law enforcement and fire department officials who organize it.
They have a great time when they get their face painted and get to play with their friends and others.
It's like a lot of people, so I kind of like that because you can get some friends, sometimes hang out. You can do a lot of stuff with them. You can hang out, you can go to the park, eat, buy stuff, that's all.
Did you guys meet some new friends here today?
Yes.
In a time where it seems that everyone is isolated from one another, believe it or not, it is possible and amazingly simple to bring people together.
They could protect our city real good, and there will not be no crimes here.
Jackson Hickey, WNY News Now.
Wow, Jackson, thank you. Certainly looks like a great event to bring people together. For more on National Night Out, you can check them out online at natw.org. certainly important. And I think one of the big things that Jackson touched on there, Dakota, in his report is a lot of people maybe over the last year have been a little reserved to maybe get back out there. And we see national night outs taking place all across our region. Dunkirk, no different. And what a better way to introduce kids to law enforcement, to fire trucks. And who doesn't like to see a fire truck, right? I, as an adult, I got to ride in a fire truck once, and it was a good time. You know,
as a little, well, not as a little kid, but I want to say when I was in second grade, I ridden in a police car.
Yeah.
We won't get into that because that's a long story.
But still, you have that. If you have a positive interaction, it seems like it can go a long way, which is great. And we have a lot. It
wasn't anything criminal, so don't worry.
No.
So don't write in.
I do know the story. I can vouch for you. It's nothing criminal, just a curious Dakota. That's all. You know, on a mission around Jamestown. About sums it up, man.
Pretty much.
I remember. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.